Welcome to another episode of W.K.H. I got my main man here, Hardnet, Jay Hardnet.
What's
You can
going on?
introduce yourself, man. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Jonathan Hardnett, 33 from Chicago.
Okay.
Good brother here, Splash. What's going on, brother?
Splash Brothers, man. Cheers. Thank you for joining.
Cheers. There we go.
Good little cheers. Start off. What we are drinking today is obviously Hennessy, as you see, and Red Bull. You know, you're the first person to ever put me onto that, by the way.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm dead ass. Like, it just sounds like it shouldn't mix together, which it shouldn't, honestly. Like, I don't know how you do it. Like, my heart it starts pounding, bro. So, but at the same time, the taste, it's very complimentary with the cognac.
It's not for the weak, you know. It's it's not, you know. It's I don't know. One of my guys put me onto it when I was in the military, and I was just drinking it because I had overnight shift that I had working security forces, military police overnight, man, and we used to drink Red Bull. But then I'm like, I like Hennessy, man, and they're like,
Right.
I mixed that. That's all I had one time, and
Wow.
we mixed that together, and it was
A blessing.
magic. Man.
Wow, that's awesome, bro. Actually, I'm glad you started out with the military because, you know, W.K.H, wealth, knowledge, humor. Obviously, you know, we enjoy talking our smack, you know, but we always got to think about what's the most important thing, and really it's growing, right? So I got a question for you. I mean, you're 33. How old were you when you started the military?
Oh man, that was October 2013, so I was 23.
23, Jordan year. Okay, so tell us a little bit about that. What made you join the military? Like, you know, I know that a lot of people, when it comes to the military, you know, it's very, I don't know what to say. It's like people expect what you expected. Was it what you got?
I got everything out of it that I absolutely needed.
Okay.
I got more than what I expected, and didn't get everything that I wanted, but it worked out in the end, and I have a true love and appreciation for the military even still to this day. So,
Okay.
oh yeah.
All right. Respect, man. I'm glad I got somebody like you to be on that side, because I feel that I don't support war and I don't support the military, but I support the people.
Yeah.
Because the people are working for it. You know what I'm saying? It's a job at the end of the day. It's a job. You know, people don't like debt collectors. They didn't like us, bro. You know, me and him used to work debt collections together. People hated us more than the police.
Oh man, I hated myself, man.
Right. So, you know, I respect the grind. I respect the hustle. You know, I've seen how the military has changed some hothead motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Too many.
Right. Probably depending on the branch, because from what I understand, so let me ask you this: is that true? Like the Marines are the dumb ones, the Army is like the jocks, the Air Force are like the fancy and bougie ones, or what?
Oh no, it's just like any community. You got the ignorant ones in each branch. You got the smart ones in each branch. You got ones that's level-headed in each branch. But at the same time, it's a family. You know, like we talk about each other like brothers and sisters and everything. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, don't touch my brother. You know what I'm saying? Marine, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, doesn't matter. Hey, we like family. We like brothers and sisters. We can mess with each other, but don't you mess with us.
Right. Okay. Respect. Absolutely. So do you feel like you're a disciplined person?
Yeah.
Did that come from the military?
No, actually. My dad.
Was he military?
I don't know. My dad was just a hard dude. Man, my dad is a pastor in Chicago, but he'll tell you his story in a heartbeat on how he found Jesus while he was in the jail cell. It ain't my place to tell his story, but he'll tell you that it was El Rukin. That was a major gang in Chicago.
El Rukin?
El Rukin. I don't know much about him at all myself. I never looked into it. But that's a leader in that gang was his cellmate. And he was reading the Bible every day.
Damn.
And my dad was like, you reading that stuff and everything? Like, he wasn't with it. And he told him, like, after a few days, like, you know what, I'm going to start reading it with you. And he got his life changed in prison, and he never turned back. Man, he's been a pillar in my life and my family's life, the man that he's been. And
is he still around?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Damn, man, the way you talk, it sounds like he dead, bro. Like, come on now, dog. You mean, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, can
man,
you do? Like,
man, I don't get to spend as much time with him as I would like to. 'Cause,
okay.
like I said, I'm in Florida now, so he's in Chicago. All my family's in Chicago. When I got out the military, I moved down here. So being down here, that was just me spreading my wings and starting fresh, starting my own family and my own foundation. So breaking away from family, friends, and starting fresh in a new place.
So yeah, man. Back to the military. Today's episode, I want to really focus on what I believe that your attributes are, because you're my guest today, and it's about you. It's not about me. I like to interview people. You know me, bro. I'm an extrovert.
Yes,
I love to meet new people, and everybody has a story. Everybody has some knowledge. Everybody has some will that, and something that keeps you driving, right? So you went to the military. You kind of already had the discipline. Did you go for the money? Wait, what did I just say? What the military don't pay?
The reason it was a means to an end. I was at a point in my life, the mother of my kids and wife at that time, and we were young and ignorant. Young parents trying to raise kids. And we had a lot of growth to go through. And what I realized is, like, what I was doing right now, I was working full time, but the job wasn't really cutting it. And I'm like, this ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Just working a 9 to 5 job, 40 hours a week is not gonna get to my dreams and get to what's needed. And so, like, I gotta get back to school. And the reason I went to the military was simply so I can get back to school. I owed to school that I was at money, and I'm like, military pay for school. So let me go ahead and whatever's needed. You know what I'm saying? I'll do my time, get 4 years, and they'll pay for school.
I want to piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of people, like what you just said, really, really is so simple in a way, right? I'm not saying that what you did was simple. I'm just saying what you just said is simple.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's simple is because your next goal, right, the next thing that you was trying to do was go back to school, because you realize, okay, that's what's going to make me pay the bills, and that's what's going to help me better myself. Yeah. But there's a gap between where the fuck you were and where you wanted to be.
Absolutely.
Right? So, like, the fill in the gap was the military.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where people struggle, right? And again, that's another reason why I think that, you and I, we've always had good chemistry. We're working together, we can touch and that. But what I'm trying to get at is, that's kind of why I brought you here, is because you make some things look simple, bro. Like, you just like, I got to do what I got to do. I got to wake up at 6. Bro, I remember going to the club with this guy, leaving 2:30 in the morning. The next day, I got to wake up at 6 in the morning, make these kids some breakfast. Like, I'm real, bro. Like, and it seems like, yeah, you shouldn't be out in the club and then getting up early, but you do what you got to do. And I will respect people that just do what they have to do, meaning that there's an obligation that you had previously.
Oh, yeah.
And you committed to. No matter what you're going through, you're gonna pull through, like today.
Yes, sir.
You had some crap that you had to go through, right?
Amen.
And you are here. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people could have been like, nah, man, I ain't gonna make it, or whatever you stick your mind in, it'll stick. So I think that a lot of people need to learn that if you have that vision of something that you want and you're here, there's that gap. What are the steps? Okay, so if I need to buy a house, maybe you need to get a part-time job. You thinking of a house you're thinking of, oh man, I gotta save $40,000-$50,000, versus, okay, I could save $1,000 a month now, but if I get a part-time job, I could save an extra $1,000. So that takes you half the amount of time. Right. So it probably would have taken you longer to go back to, because you could have worked another job on top of what you were doing, but you said, I'll do the military.
Oh yeah, it was a means to an end. It wasn't the only option, but I felt it was the best option, especially for the degree that I was trying to go for. I'm like, what I wanted to do was aviation, and I know you needed certifications, you needed, you needed that to make that happen, and I needed to go back to school, and I didn't have the money, and the job I wasn't working wasn't paying enough for me to be able to take care of bills and be able to pay off them student loans that I needed to take care of to get back into school. So I'm like, you know what, I start in the military, I do my time, I get the opportunity to go back to school, and I'm there now.
Yeah. And now you have a bachelor's degree.
Man.
And in what is it, aeronautics?
bachelor of science in aeronautics with the minor in project management.
Awesome, man. Cheers to that. I know we're just finding anything to cheers off to, but that's a good one to cheers to. A bachelor's degree, and you're working on your
Definitely
master's.
drink to that one. Oh yeah, working on the masters right now. That'll be completed in December. So yeah, growth, man. Um, it's necessary, man. If you want something bad enough, willpower can do a whole lot for you. When you don't have much, when you want something bad enough, there's nobody that can tell you otherwise.
Mm.
As long as the opportunity is possible, I'm going for it. I don't care if it's likely. If it's possible,
That's
the
it.
boy's
That's all you
going
need
for it.
is the fact that it's
It's
possible.
possible, and I seen somebody else did it before, so they knew the steps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna try that.
Leading to you coming to Jacksonville, you said you kind of left to do your own thing. You're here. You build a family. So that's kind of where I want to get into the family aspect of things.
Okay.
Because I married you as a dad. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a dad growing up, so I still know him. I love him. I try to build an adult relationship with him. I try to build like something that, we connect. Me and him are very similar. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't actually there. So whenever I see dudes that are there for the kids, they're present, and not just around, but present. It's a stand-up thing to see. Both in both ways, moms and fathers.
Absolutely, but we know that there's a deficit sometimes, or we can see it in a lot of areas. And so,
What do you mean?
Sometimes we don't see the father present in a lot of those type of
Exactly. Right.
parenting situations, or they're not together, and a lot of times kids are with the mothers.
Right.
For whatever the reason may be, we don't see that connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a whole nother story to try to get into.
Right.
And I ain't drunk enough to get into that conversation yet.
You're good, bro. You're good. So you moved to Jacksonville. Okay, right before we get to the family aspect of things, what was that? Was the military that brought you here, and then you would just stay here? Or?
Man, I'm gonna be real and I'm gonna be honest. The reason I moved to Florida, I wanted to start fresh when I got out of the military. I didn't want to go back home. I love my family, I understand that, but sometimes family can be a beautiful crutch, and I knew for me, if my mama called me on the weekend and say, "Hey, John, can you come help me?" and I'm on my way, mama. But if I'm in Florida and my mom in Chicago, she wouldn't even reach out. She know John. She know her son is handling this stuff and taking care of some stuff out there. So sometimes like you have to separate yourself from the things that you've been your own foundation that you've already had that built you up.
Dang.
And it's time to step away sometimes, and you don't want to step away because it's comfortable there, and it's uncomfortable in new territory and trying to find ground to root yourself up in. And Florida was that spot for me. With my job and my dream was aviation, and everything I wanted to do concerning aviation was in the Florida area.
We have one of the largest Navy bases as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so I've been trying to look into different jobs there as well. So Navy was actually trying to look at me to come on back, trying to get into some nuclear stuff, but I'm like,
yo.
That's
what?
not the direction I want to go. I don't want to go in that direction. Like, we'll bring you another officer. I'm like, I'm okay. Like,
Jonathan Oppenheimer over here, bro.
Like, respectfully, I'm okay with not being in the military anymore. I got a great respect for the military, and I feel like I gained a lot of perspective.
Yeah.
The number one thing I got from the military was perspective.
Perspective.
Oh yes, perspective.
Why perspective?
Perception is reality.
Right.
And what that means is how people see things is their reality, and regardless of what reality truly is,
that's their reality. If you believe that a black cat is bad luck, a black cat's gonna be bad luck in your universe.
They're going to respond in their reality, regardless of what that is. They're going to respond as if that is the case.
Okay.
So that's what makes that reality real for them, because their response is in that direction. So with that understanding, people are going to treat you based off of how they see you, regardless of what you show them or tell them. People are going to treat you how they see you.
So why do you feel like the military didn't teach you that, and not just life itself?
Military taught me that simply through lifelong learning of everything regarding 9/11, military, and
Mm.
things regarding that. I was in 6th grade when 9/11 happened. You know, came home to watch Magic School Bus. News was on every channel, man.
And you saw
Shit,
the
I'm-
Magic Airbus.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
said,
That was a bad joke. Sorry, yo.
Man.
Sorry.
too soon, bro.
Too
It's
soon.
gonna always be
Too
soon.
soon.
No, but that
R.I.P.
was
to some people
but
for real.
that
Though,
was
yeah.
6th grade when I learned that.
I was
that
in the
was
first
happening,
grade. That's crazy.
You know.
Damn.
And so from there, in high school, I ended up taking AP Government and learning a whole lot more about what happened regarding weapons of mass destruction and what's the real reason for being over there and the reasons about everything. And I'm like, you know what? A lot of people in Afghanistan and everything now are even dying for reasons that they don't even know, missions that they don't even know the true reason why they're going. You know,
And that's the part of me that I don't support because it goes both ways, not just
but
that.
and that's why I have a high respect for anybody who makes a choice to go ahead and do that with that knowledge, knowing that you're gonna
There
go
is
do
something that you don't know.
and there are some things that you don't know, but you're gonna follow suit for because the reason that you understand is to protect your country, the United States, the greatest country there is.
You think so?
I live here.
Look, bro.
I'm gonna speak highly of the place that I live while
Hey.
I live there. I want to continue living here while I live here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I mean, I'm not saying that we're not a great country, and this is a whole nother conversation for a separate time, man. But now we could lead into the parenting aspect of it because you obviously were a young dad, bro.
Absolutely.
You're a young dad. Now I
Yeah.
know why you're a stand-up guy is because you had a stand-up guy, right?
Yeah.
And you was your foundation, your rock, boulder, to set the standard for what being a father really is. I want to ask you, how many kids do you have? I know how many kids you have, but for the people that don't know, and do you want more?
I have 2 boys and I have 2 stepdaughters, and I'm good on kids as I had that little snippy snip. You know,
No, you had a vasectomy,
I
dog.
got a vasectomy. Yes, I did. It's a certain level of responsibility. You know what I'm saying, that you gotta have.
Man.
With yourself. You know.
At least we know that
And,
you don't
no.
discriminate because a lot of people would have made the woman do it.
No, regardless, no, that's for myself. That's a self-control thing for myself. First of all, you can't be out here just making kids out there. You know. I know it's something that I can actually reverse. And it would be something I would actually think about doing, but I would actually be in that type of financial bracket to do so.
I understand.
So
I
if I
understand.
don't have
Kids
the
are
funds,
expensive.
so if I don't have the funds to do so, respectfully, I shouldn't be trying to have one. You know, so.
Do you mind? Because you told me this earlier. When you have a family, how do you find time for yourself?
You don't have to. It's not about finding time. You have to make it.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be given to you. You got to squeeze 347 hours into 24. Being a full-time dad, full-time husband, full-time
Employee,
worker,
right.
full-time student, and still having to do your part, to protect, provide, secure, be there for your family, be there and be present at work, be there in the lives of your friends and the connections that you have, be involved heavily within the community.
Yeah.
These are all great things, that you're speaking life and affirmations over and you're being a part of. But at the same time, for yourself, you have to find what those things are for you and you have to make it. And I do that through the connections that I have. I got you, to be able to come over here on a podcast and have a drink with my boy Splash and have a good conversation and speak life into one another. I'm down for a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, I think the reason why I'm bringing up the whole parenting thing, is not like we're going to talk only about parenting, but I think that there's a lot of, bro, I'm 29. A lot of the people that are listening to this are in their 20s, mid-20s, early 30s, right? And they're having children. People are having kids. And I'm starting to look at it. And for a while, right, I went through a phase where early 20s, I didn't care for kids. Man. From 25 to 27, I really wanted a kid, bro.
Man, let me tell you, I was 19 when I found out that I was going to be a father.
Dang.
I was 19. Ain't no way in hell I was ready to be a father with the space that I was in, regardless of how level-headed I was in school or the intelligence that I had as far as being educated. To be a father, I was nowhere near where I needed to be. I was an ignorant 19-year-old. And when I tell you now, looking back, I am glad God set my stupid ass down when He gave me a kid. You know, um, he knew who I was as a person, and when I would have a responsibility as a father,
Mm.
the type of man that I wanted to be. And so my son was actually a driving force in the person who I am right now. So it was necessary for me. And so I'm glad that at that point in my life that it happened for me, because I knew my willpower, and once I had responsibility
I have
like
heard a
that,
lot of like
it pushed me.
I hadn't, you know what? I've heard that before, where a lot of people have kids and their business blows up.
Hmm.
Like they're whatever they're doing, you know, it puts a fire in your ass because it's
Oh,
no longer I don't got to feed, because you know you and me we could eat
man,
Taco Bell, we could go a day without eating, we straight. You know what I'm
man,
saying? But like on realistically, like we were eating standing up, by the way. Like I was thinking about that to myself. I'm like, that's some type of stuff. Men are very simple, and women hate us for that. I don't know why they hate us for that, but we're simple, right?
very simple.
And it's like me and my boy, we didn't have to have all this equipment, the lighting and everything. You and me could have gotten a box microphone, put 2 mattresses up, and we could have done the same podcast. You know what I'm saying? So the simplicity of it, and again, keep going back to what you make things simple, bro. It's like, all right, I got a kid, I'm about to support this kid.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I feel a lot of people think that a child takes away your independence, and I think that's kind of more on you. You're saying that, and I'm also believing that, because I see couples that still go out to drink and party, and they just make sure grandma or auntie or somebody taking care of the baby that night.
Man,
And I also seen couples that they don't do any of that anymore.
man, let me tell you this: kids don't take away your independence. You give away your independence when you decide to lay your ass down and have sex, and knowing that there's a possibility that a baby can come on out of that, and then decide to make the choice to keep the baby, and regardless of the situation, you made that choice. That baby had no opportunity or no choice in the matter at all. They're here. I'm gonna get them the best that I got,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I'm gonna get better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the best that I got ain't. I always tell myself it's not good enough because I want more, and it's not to put myself down. It's to keep myself humble. That, you know what I'm saying? I want more. You know, and regardless of where I'm at.
But I like that you mentioned humbled, because I got a buddy of mine, right? And he's very he used to be very judgmental.
Yeah.
And he used to be like, make fun of people, like, oh, look at this guy, look at this guy, look at this guy. Has kids. Now he's like more empathetic. You become more empathetic. Like, I see it with my nephew, bro. Like, I'm not a dad, but I'm an uncle. You know what I'm saying? And when I hang out with my nephew, that side of me comes out. Because, bro, you could be the most gangster, 6'8", tattoos on your neck, but you see a baby or a puppy,
Oh yeah.
you a different person, bro. So the empathy side, I believe that children bring that out in us humans, man, because you know that children, obviously, if you're not like a pedophile or somebody who has sick in the head, you know, you see a child's innocence is beautiful.
I love kids. Like, I work with the children's ministry at the church every Sunday. I teach children.
Really?
Oh yeah, I teach the children's ministry at church every Sunday at church, and then on first Wednesdays, you know, I'm there for these kindergartners through 6th graders over at Elevate Life Church. You know, got a few locations: Fleming Island and Oakleaf.
Let me ask you
know,
something.
So
I actually, I want to join you one day. Hold me to it. Hold me to it. The reason why I say this is because I'm in the works, and I haven't shared this with many people. My mom works at SOS Academy.
okay.
She's a lunch lady there, and she, it's really cool with the principal. My mom's been telling me that these kids have been acting up and acting a fool, and I said, did they ever disrespect you? She says, you know, they ain't gonna disrespect me. Like, she don't want to. You ain't gonna mess with the lunch lady, especially the one that will, like, she look at you the wrong. You know what I'm saying? My mom got the eyes, some piercing eyes.
You don't want to
But-
play with your mama.
That's right, right. But I asked her, I'm like, you know, are they, what do you mean the kids are acting up? They're like, oh, you know, they just rowdy, this, that, and the third. And I was like, dude, I want to do a gentleman's club for those kids. I talked to the principal. She said she was gonna work around how we could do it with the parents and get the sign off and everything, because you know
Okay.
there's like legalities and other stuff like that. But I'm going to do an after school program with children where like, but honestly, between the ages of like 10 and that teenage, right before they get where they think that they're bigger than you and they're gonna try to fight you.
Oh yeah.
Right, because I don't know how to say this, man. I ain't gonna let no 16-year-old try to punk me.
Oh yeah, that's why I think
That's why you gotta stay young, because you could just look at them. They respect you more. A 16, 17-year-old is gonna try to tell you to run it, and then he gonna catch these Chris Brown hands,
man,
run it.
I'm trying to stay fit, man. Cause I'm telling you, man, I don't want to be put in that spot. No, it's some heavy stuff that I had to deal with coming up. It's the reason why me and my dad have the closest relationship that we do have right now, and it's we had a physical falling out.
Damn, you got in a scrap with your dad.
Yeah, and it was one of the worst pains in my life at that time. I don't think neither one of us wanted it, but
How old are you?
I was because I have to understand where my life changed and everything, different stuff in my life. So
Like
that was January 2009, so I was 18. No, January 2010, I was 19 at the time, and I was just visiting home from school, and me and my dad, we just didn't see eye to eye. I was college kid. He don't like drinking and stuff in his house, and I had brought some liquor and different stuff in the house.
He was a pastor. I can only
and
imagine.
then like me, I got a little bit more hair on my chin and everything. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing my own thing out in college, and my dad still had his rules. You know what I'm saying? When you come back home and live with him, and I thought they was BS, but regardless, that was this man's house. And
as an adult, you recognize it, but not then.
Exactly. Regardless, now I understand like somebody's house where they pay bills, that's their stuff, and I understood that then, and I tried to leave. And regardless, it was some pride that got in the way, and we ended up having a physical scrap right there. And it was it's nothing to be proud of to say that you got in a scrap with your father. It's nothing.
Only if it's a stepdad, because I'm proud to say that I was ready to scrap my stepdad.
Any person that, that been there for you and been there for your upbringing, like respectfully, you know what I'm saying? It's like you go through situations and everything, and life will humble you, and you understand that these adults are going and growing at the same time. And being a father is what taught me that, because I made some mistakes with my sons along the way, and I wanted them to forgive me. So what I look like expecting them to forgive me, but I can't forgive my father.
Dang it.
So it's like it was that perception that continued to show in, because now it's like I'm on the other side of things now. And that's what I'm saying. For me, I give myself that grace and humility to look at the other side. Not just be in that, and play victim, but to now look at it from my dad's perspective now with me. I remember crying to my dad one time. Man, I called my dad crying. Grown man, bro. I was like my son Brendan, he was like probably 3 or 4. And I remember I was just like, he wasn't listening. He kept running back and forth into the room and everything. And with his shirt off, like with some, he had some like lotion all over his body, so, like, just like rushing into the room, and I ended up saying the same exact thing to him that my dad told me.
Oh,
and as soon as I said it,
you felt it,
and it's like, man, it's like I know exactly what. Man, I called my dad. I'm crying, like, man, Dad, I'm sorry. He started laughing his ass off, man. I tell you, man, it's cool, But it's like, but for
that's
me
how
to
life
see that,
teaches you those lessons.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm glad that I became a parent, because now it's like I make sure to now see things from that perspective. Now I don't try to be selfish and looking at my kids don't respect me, but now what do my kids need? What am I making sure to provide? What do my kids need at this time? Like, I was in that same space before. What did I feel like I needed? And I try to make sure I give my kids that.
One thing I do say, man, and my brother was, because you saw the podcast, my brother was here talking about fitness and health and everything. And one thing I love about his parenting is he always says this. He's like, my son's going to look up to me. Because I'm like, oh, what do you think? Because I was asking him, like, about like society and how it's going to influence his son,
Oh, yeah.
He's like, he's not worried about that, bro. And I love that confidence. To a certain extent, he's going to like learn that life is you can't always influence. But I think he already knows that. But I also see that confidence. And like you said, perception is what you think and you believe will be.
Yeah.
I think, therefore I am. So he says he's on his fitness shit because his son's going to be on it. And his son's going to look up to his dad, my brother. And if your kid looks up to you, you ain't got to worry about who's out there and who's doing what around my son, because my son looks up to me. Man. You see what I'm saying, man? And I like that, bro. And I can see that's with your kids, man, the way they talk to me whenever we come around, how they ask you, hey, can I Like, I remember, I think last time you brought your son over here, man. He's like, "Can I use the restroom?" But he asked you if you could ask him if he could ask me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just ask me. He said, "Hey, Dad, can I ask if we can use the bathroom?" So stuff like that, man. You know, it's a stand up stuff, and
It's a standard, you know, and it's necessary, you know, and you realize that, and I like that you brought that up about your guy and his influence over his kids, you know, because it's a necessary influence that we understand it. I can't control the influences that my kids have at school. You know,
Right.
I know exactly what's out there. I know on their phones, everything is available to them now that we never had available to us when we was in 7th grade. You know, they have everything right at their fingertips. They have all these different influences, the media, school, agendas, other kids and everything, and how they're raised with their families who are very different, you know. And you understand, there's nothing I can control about that. However, what I can control is how I speak life into my kid to make sure they know who they are. Because regardless of what life throws at you, if you know who you are, it's going to hurt. But you're going to come back around. You're going to stand back up on your feet because you know who you are. You know where you're grounded at. You know where you're founded at.
Yeah.
And after I make sure, regardless of life and what happens, my kids get that affirmation. They know who they are. And I remind them and make sure they understand that part.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that a lot. I had two things that I had like take mental notes on what you were saying. I like that you know dates. So my date, a date that's gonna stick to me for the rest of my life, is May 15th.
Talk to me.
So May 15th, 2022, I stopped driving because of my vision. Right, that's the day that. Funny enough, I was leaving church.
I'm right here, bro. I'm sorry, I had to. My bad. My bad. My
You
bad.
crazy. You crazy. So May 15th, bro. It was on a Sunday. I was leaving church, and you know I was going through a lot with work stuff. I wasn't making a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, I was trying to like just do right by God, man, and just went by myself. And I remember that day, I tried to get other people to go, and it just so happened to not work out. And it was a defining moment because I was like, I'm gonna go. It's like I'm at the gym. Like sometimes it's hard for people to go by themselves, man. And then when you're like, oh, I can't get this, I can't do that, but you still choose to go, it's like you it was meant for you to be there.
Facts.
So I get out of church, man. Starts raining. I'm off of Bay Meadows, about to get on 295 to get on the Buckman.
Yeah.
And about to get to the Buckman, and it starts raining. I'm on a red light. It wasn't like a fast thing. It was like I was probably hitting like 20. It's raining. Red light turns green. I move forward. I didn't see this lady leaving this VP parking lot. She had a stop sign. Mind you, I learned this after, but not at the time.
Okay.
But I didn't see her, and then boom, we hit.
Damn.
Bro. But this is my first time getting in an accident where I didn't see the person. Other accidents, it's been like reckless. Right, like I saw it coming, I'm an idiot. Or I should have never took that red light. Because I've only been in like 2-3 accidents. 2 of which was my fault, 1 of them was not. In this case, it was, once we got the insurance involved, that ended up being her fault. Florida's a no-fault state, but you know how that goes. But at the time, man, it starts raining. The lady's like, sir, you hit my car. You ain't see me? Like when she said that, I cried like a baby, bro, in my car because it was raining and we had to pull up to the side of the road. But and it was raining, she didn't get out the car. So I'm parked in front of her. And I'm like, when she said, you ain't see me? I was like, fuck, dog, I didn't. I didn't see her. She's okay. No, it was just like a fender bender. It literally was a fender bender.
I know that hurt you.
But it wasn't, yes, it hurt me because what if it wasn't a fender bender, bro? You see how you asked, is she okay?
Yeah.
If she wasn't okay, I wouldn't be okay.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that defining moment for me was, I'm like, I first started like asking, I said, why? I'm like, God, I just left church. I don't know why people believe that once you leave church and you're at church, like nothing can happen to you. Like, well, I'm good, I'm at church. Like, you still at life. You at church, but you still at life. Shit's gonna go down. But at the time, man, I was like, I just left church. Like, I should be like protected. I almost felt like entitled, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like that. God don't work like that. God don't work like, oh, okay, you know, oh, you came to church. It's been 5 weeks since I seen you, but you come now, and then now you can't get in no accident because you came to church.
I understand that you're going to go through some stuff. And sometimes it's necessary. And guess what? Not everything is God putting you through it. Sometimes it's us going through our own crap that God tried to tell us no about.
Right. And we put ourselves in that predicament.
No, that wasn't the devil putting something. That was absolutely you. God didn't have to do nothing about that. That was totally you
Yeah.
and your choice, and it's an
Right.
accountability that's
Absolutely.
with that. And God will allow you to go through that because now you're in a storm. And the best thing I know about a storm now is I can't do nothing in a storm. So when I see a storm coming, I get happy because I know, hey, God about to do something. Because I can't do nothing about it. So He
The other
must
side
got it.
of the storm.
He
bro.
got it. So
It's
I know
all
how
the
to I know how to respond in a storm
Mhm.
now. You know, and that's what's necessary, understanding how to respond in the storm, because we don't always respond in the storm well. We get upset, we get angry, we get frustrated, and learning how
And
to respond in the
I
storm.
was mad, man. I was pissed, bro. I was like, I was sitting there in the car, exchanged insurance information. She left, and I was sitting there in the car, man. I was like, you know what? Like, I cried for a little bit. Obviously, I was like 5-10 minutes, man. And you know, that's kind of like how I am as a man. I only give myself, because of my vision, it's my biggest insecurity. I only give myself 5 minutes a month. I'm not saying that I plan it,
Okay.
but I only give myself 5 minutes a month for me to feel bad for myself. That's it. After that, bro, like I'm dead serious. I'm not saying I plan it. Like there's days where it just happens,
Yeah.
and I start feeling bad because I can't control this, man. You feel me? And then there's times where just your insecurities get the best of you, and it's kind of like depression. You gotta let depression happen sometimes. Your body got to shut down, and your body has to realize that like it's under construction at this point. You know, it's like when you put that tarp over it when you get like fleas or you know termites and stuff. You know, it's under construction. It's being. I don't need to be outside right now. I don't need to do this. I need to do that. If I need to feel a little bit of sorrow, okay, cool. 5 minutes. Literally, I sit in my bed, do what I gotta do, say what I gotta say, feel the way I gotta feel. After that, that's it. I'm done. Because I also mentally prepare myself. So that day, bro, after that little 5-10 minutes, I looked up, it stopped raining. I said, that's it.
Hey, bro.
I'm driving home. I prayed. I said, God, just get me home safe today. Once I'm home, I'm not driving. Here goes the second part of this defining moment is defining people. You get to know who's in your corner when people hit you up, right? All the people that used to hit me up, bro, once I stopped driving, half of the people that I used to chill with, I don't chill with no more. Why? Because either it's inconvenient for them to come pick me up. And mind you, you know me, dog. I'm not going to have you scoop me up, and I'm not either going to like, oh, I'll buy the bottle or I'll shoot you gas money. I'm not the kind of person that expects you to pick me up and it's all good.
Yeah.
Sometimes people that are in my circle do it out of the kindness of their heart, and I love that. Yeah. But I'm not the type of person to expect a ride for the free, bro.
Hey.
Right?
And let me tell you something. Let me go back to the first thing you said, man.
What?
First, you said you give yourself about 5 minutes
Yeah.
of grief. You know?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, bro. Give yourself a little bit more grace than that. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself a little bit more grace than that, bro.
Why do you think that?
We get feelings for a reason. You are allowed to feel exactly how you feel.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what you have to understand as a man, as a person. You are given feelings for a reason. Anger, sadness, love, admiration. Every feeling, good and bad, you are given those feelings for a reason. You can't deny feelings.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to feel those feelings. But you make sure you understand yourself while you're in those feelings. Because regardless of your feelings, you will be held accountable to the actions that you take in the midst of those feelings. Regardless of your feelings, that your feelings don't
dictate they shouldn't dictate your actions.
You should not let your feelings control you in that
Right.
type of fashion. You should control your feelings. Like, you should
Right.
understand my feelings. That I'm angry right now.
Right.
I'm angry
Right.
right now. I don't have to exhibit anger when I'm angry right now, but I should be able to articulate myself without the feeling involved in that articulation of that. And there's a certain level of control that you're supposed to have with that, but at the same time, when you're feeling a certain type of way, allow yourself to feel. You have to feel that. But to deny yourself feelings is to deny yourself the ability to be human, you know?
Damn,
this is something
brother.
that's natural.
That's very
it's
well
natural.
put, man.
Allow yourself to feel,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But control it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you don't, find that safe space to do so. And the second part of that, community, just like you said, man, community is the best thing you can have for yourself. Because even when you forget who you are, you got people right there who going to remind you who you are. So people going to like, hey, you know what? I can't fix this right now. I'll sit with you for a bit so you ain't got to carry it alone. I'll sit there with you.
Right.
However long we got to sit for, let's sit there in it. But, hey, we can't sit it too long, though, because we got shit to do.
We got shit to do.
Yeah.
I like that, my guy. We could. I think this is a good way to finish this off, man.
Hey, man.
I appreciate that. That was fire, dog. Fire.
Man, how long was the conversation? Like 15 minutes, man? Like,
Ain't no 15 minutes. It's been
Man.
probably like 35, 40, bro. That's usually where I cut it anyway.
No
But
worries.
it's been a pleasure, man. I mean, just I guess recap, brother. You obviously you learned a lot about discipline, foundation, community, what I call defining moments that you have in your life, dates that we have in our heads, that we set ourselves, that we remind, like, that's the day that I learned this. That's the day that I stood up for myself. And sometimes there's not a date, there's just a memory, right, of the day. And I appreciate you coming in, man. Definitely, you taught me a lot of confidence too, bro. And I want to at least leave you with this: is when you and me worked together, you brought a different side of me that was competitive. Hey, yo, breadwinners, you're hungry.
Hey, yo, breadwinners.
Right, yeah, I brought you back, right? So when I heard that, man, at first I was like, damn, why not think of that? Not necessarily the breadwinners, but the whole, like, do a little something before, like a EOB, we called it, right?
Energy.
Or was it EO a BO beginning of day? Yeah, BOD. Was that right? BOD beginning of day. So, like, when you got everybody together to do it, you had an old lady, a young dude, like, you had all shapes, colors, ages to get together and just do that.
Hey,
no
man.
matter how corny that shit was.
Hey, bro. My one of my favorite quotes that's on my Facebook. It says, "Leadership is the art of getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to." So I want you to do this, but the reason why you're doing it is because you want to. So leadership is understanding who your people are and catering to the person that they are and giving them exactly what they need to now do. Now they have the same vision that you
Absolutely.
have. To
Leadership is influence.
Exactly. And being a part of that, you know what I'm saying? And giving them exactly what they need. So I live by that. You know what I'm saying? I understand what it takes to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? And be that example. You know what I'm saying? And be that igniter for them. You know, so
Definitely.
man, that's real.
Real stuff, man. I appreciate you coming in. This Jay Harnett, y'all. What, you gotta want to post your Instagram out there? Anything you want people to
Man,
follow you or anything
I
like
don't
that?
even have an Instagram anymore. All I do
He
is
too
Facebook.
old.
Man,
That boy old as hell.
I don't be on. I don't be up to nothing. I be on Facebook, checking in with family back home in Chicago.
That's cool,
and my
man. That's all
military
good.
homies. But I'm locked in with school heavy. You know what I'm saying? So
Congratulations, man.
yeah, I locked in with
Congratulations on the bachelor's, coming up to your master's. You keep doing your thing, man. You're staying humble too, bro. You're not bragging about it, about anything. You're not trying to show off. So keep doing your thing. Stay humble and stay grinding, brother.
always, brother.
Love you, man.
Appreciate
Thank you for
having me.
coming.